Okay, good evening, good evening. Here we are, once again, back in Cafe Zola. And I'm about to embark on a very ambitious undertaking. I'm going to read this book, Ghetto Sketches. As you can see, it's a tiny little thing. And for those of you who might have a copy of this book, because it has been out of print for a while, you might discover that it is worth something like $75. The original price, I believe, was, I don't know, like $1.50. But that was back in 1972 when it was first published. The Ghetto Sketches is my first published book, and it details the goings-on in a neighborhood. The neighborhood is somewhere deep in the bowels of the ghettos of Chicago's West Side. And I'll let the characters and what happens speak for themselves as we go on. What I'd like to do at the very beginning, took me about 8 years to write this book. I started writing it when I was, I don't know, a baby. And I threw down the ballpoint pen many times before I finally realized I think I'll have to learn how to write, not just scribble. That might be some advice for a lot of prospective writers. Don't just scribble, write. Having said that,
learn how to.
Learn how to do what you say you want to do and how you call yourself. But having said that, yes, ma'am.
You said that...
coming from Zola herself.
All right. So you said that someone wanted to take an option?
An option had been taken by the usual suspects, a Hollywood producer, several times over the years. But two things have stood in the way of it being, the option being taken up. First of all, the work is, even now, somewhat ambitious. If you want it to be true to the character, to the ethics, to the ambiance of a whole neighborhood on the West Side, right now, in this year, 2018, if you wanted to go back to 1972, let's say, you would have to rebuild the whole neighborhood. And
well, they did it with fences.
Well, you know, if it were possible. I mean, it's, they do marvelous things with mat sets and so forth and so on. I don't know if it could be done today, because a lot of people have lost the fluidity of the accents in the book. As a matter of fact, I've had actors, very fine actors, read parts of the book, and they cannot be true to it because they have no feeling for the circumstances. They have no feeling for the ambiance, for the language in it. You know, somebody who's just simply saying this or that or this and that is not really reflecting the character of all the people in the neighborhood, because all of them did not have the absolute tone of other people. We like people living in one block and they're all black, but some of them come from one section of Mississippi, other comes from another section of New Orleans. Some people might come from Alabama, some might come from the Caribbean. So the mixture of accents, I think that's a kind of a current, an old-fashioned prejudice idea that all black people from a certain section of the South speak a certain way. People from, let's say, the Gullah Islands in South Carolina speak a bit different from the people in mainland Georgia, or the people who speak a certain way from Illinois, from Chicago, where I come from, give you a patois, a blending of something that might be considered up south, up southern. But we don't have time to get into the linguistic thing of it. That would take a scholar who knows much more about this than I do. The only thing I know is that there are people who would not be able to read Ghetto Sketches because they tend to think of Ghetto Sketches as some kind of Paul Laurence Dunbar dialect stuff, and it's not that. I think it has to do much more with tonal flavors than with dialectical flavors. So having started us off on that foot, I'm going to read at the very beginning a dedication that was graciously given to me by Dr. Margaret Burroughs, who established the first African-American museum in Chicago, in the United States, way back when. And she was a guiding light for me, as well as a prod. Do it! And I think I did it, or I'm doing it. And she was gracious enough to write a foreword. So I'll start off with the foreword, and maybe...
Has it been used in schools, by the way? Has this book been used in English classes?
Oh, she was the first one to do it. At one point, she taught in Kennedy King, and she made it a part of her established brick curriculum, Ghetto Sketches. I believe a guy named Justin Gifford at the University of Nevada also did it, as well as a whole host of other people who thought that the Ghetto Sketches reflected a certain kind of flavor that they wanted to acquaint people with in their classes. So they did, without, a lot of fanfare, but it has been generally recognized by those who know literature. And I've always gotten good reviews, and I'm going to read Dr. Margaret Burroughs' foreword. Thank you for your question, as they say.
You're welcome.
Ghetto Sketches. Ghetto Sketches was first published in 1972. And, of course, I dedicate this book to my father, mother, sister, daughters, and Queen Zola Salena, and to all the members of my family, both living and dead, with deepest love and respect. Forward. As an art teacher, we have to understand Dr. Burroughs was one of those no-nonsense people who said, let's do it, and if you didn't want to do it, then fall over to the side, because she would run right over you. As an art teacher at Holloway High School, Chicago, Illinois, I can say that I feel privileged and fortunate to have had so many talented students in my classes. Odie Hawkins is one of many hundreds who have fulfilled the dreams I had for them by virtue of hard work and perseverance. In my art class, I found Odie writing a nasty little story for a friend who had given him a 50-cent commission for the job. As a seasoned teacher, it was quite obvious that he wasn't doing the work assigned to the class. He was doing something else. I plucked the sheets of paper from his surprised hands and read it. He was embarrassed, and I was pleasantly surprised. Whatever the short story was about, I can't recall it now. It was liberally laced with profanity. Whoa. But beyond that, it was interesting and showed a certain kind of style. Years later, he told me how surprised he was about my reaction. Instead of punishing him in any way, I recommended a writing workshop that a friend of mine was leading at the community center at 50 versus South Parkway. It's called Martin Luther King Drive now. He was a teenager meeting with adults, and I think after a few sessions, their sophistication overwhelmed him. But he continued writing and often showed me his work. Several English teachers will always have a check mark next to their names because they accused this young writer of plagiarizing. He was not plagiarizing, he was exploring his own creative hemispheres. I gave him a ream of paper for the summer school vacation and told him to write. He wrote his first novel that summer, an extravagantly structured work about the Peps, a popular dance hall on 47th Street near St. Lawrence Avenue. The Peps that he wrote about was dance music, an atmosphere brimming with fire and teenage hormones. He came to me 2 weeks after the semester started, looking miserable, to tell me that his then girlfriend had stolen the novel and was accusing him of having a relationship with another girl based on her misreading of his manuscript. So far as I know, she may still have the manuscript. Can you imagine somebody mistaking a 300-page manuscript for a love note to another girl? As they say, youth is wasted on the young. Odie graduated from DeSauter in 1956, pretended to go to Wilson Junior College for almost a year, and continued loading up the material for writing life, always visiting or writing me. I like that. The fact that he has always made an effort to stay in touch. He moved to Los Angeles in 1966 and became active in the Watts Writers Workshop. Within a year or so, he was seriously involved in the Hollywood business, writing movie scripts, television scripts, always returning periodically to Chicago to visit his family and to update me on his activities. A fellow traveler like myself, we had a brief reunion in Ghana in 1994 where he lived in the early 90s and I was once again leading a tour group. I would like to say I've read each of his published books from cover to cover, but I've been too busy to do that, far too busy. I have read the Ghetto Sketches from cover to cover several times because the book is that compelling. I made it a part of my curriculum at Kennedy King, and I've used it in writing classes in Cook County Jail. Odie has dug deeply into the cultural nuances of our lives in his Ghetto Sketches. We are taken into the lives of the people who produce the language and the groove, if you will, of this special environment. Yes, the action in the work happens in the ghetto in Chicago, but the characters are not superficially stereotypical and the situations are universal. Situations that all of us must cope with at some point in our lives. How to handle the stress of this technological life, what to do about relationship between men and women, men and men, women and women, the young and the old. He doesn't spend much time belaboring the obvious problems that exist because of institutional racism. He gives us credit for having the intelligence to know that racial ghettos wouldn't exist if racism was dead. In a few instances where the price of things and services are mentioned, Sweet Peter Dita's Hoes, for example, we are made aware that the first issue of the book took place years ago, but the circumstances of the lives of the people in Ghetto Sketches reflecting the lives of millions of Americans today is right on the money. Odie Hawkins has borne honest witness for us, and I feel pleased and gratified to think that I played a role in this work, a piece I'm sure will be considered a classic. Dr. Margaret Burroughs. Modupwe. Chapter 1. Saturday night. A ramshackle 3-story rim-shot building stuffed full of people, A ramshackle, rim-shop neighborhood stuffed, overlapped with people, uncollected garbage, reeking with swift-running black earth, Saturday night smells on any Saturday afternoon in any city in this country and any of its black ghettos. The people sweltering through the early dog days of late spring, not warm enough to stay outside all the time, but too warm to stay inside to crack about the walls. Let me slow down a minute, I'm hyperventilating here. Oh my God, it's been so long since Saturday night smells on any Saturday afternoon in any city in this country, in any of its black ghettos. How's that, madam?
That's much better.
The people sweltering through the early dog days of late spring, not warm enough to stay outside all the time, but too warm to stay inside the cracker box walls, and summer has not yet released its asphalt haze. Congestion is what it might be called, human congestion. Bodies stacked floor upon floor, children swathed in piss-stench blankets, nibbled at by wandering rats, people stretched out layer by layer, a bittersweet cake overpowering to the taste. The noise under the circumstances can be very disturbing, pushed through the thin walls or beaten out on drums being played in the alley. Jim Daniels twists and tosses around on his narrow, sweat-soaked bed, his arms folded across his broad chest, twitching and reacting to every heavy, accented beat of the congas. Finally, unable to stand the monotonous thump, bump, dop of the mediocre drumming, he springs out of bed, dashes through the kitchen of his apartment, ignoring the strange looks given him by his wife and children, and steps barefoot out onto the rotted planks of his second-floor porch. Hey! Hey! Why don't y'all go somewhere else? Beat them goddamn drums and stuff. I'm trying to get some sleep. The Saturday afternoon group of frustrated Mongols, Willy Bobos, and Chano Pozos, Armando Paratas, clocked to a ruffled stop. One of the men in the alley looks up at Jim with wine-soaked disgust splashed across his face. Oh, shit, man, what kind of nigga you? Don't you know it's Saturday? Jim Daniels passed the point of sympathizing with weekenders. All right, now, I didn't ask you dudes nicely. Stop beating them drums down there. I ain't gonna ask you no more. Y'all have the game up down there behind my goddamn porch every Saturday anyway. The dudes in the alley, pausing to pass the wine and the joint around, look up at Jim contemptuously. One of them, a coffee can cowbell player, sings out to no one in particular, but as a matter of defiance. Fuck him, man. Go ahead and play. That's one of them habitual bitches. Don't nobody never complain about us playing down here but him. The exchange automatically attracts the attention of people living in the building. They lean over the rickety banisters, smiling behind their hands, or actively agitating the situation. Oh, wow, what's that you said to Big Jim? You heard me. I didn't stutter. I said, fuck him. He ain't got no right to come out here and tell us to stop playing. We don't try to tell him what to do. What's that you say? Say it again. You heard me, motherfucker. I said, fuck you. And that's what I mean. The other dudes sitting around on milk crates, loaded, continue passing the ripple around, sniggling at this exchange between their champion and Jim. Jim hurries into his crib, face creased with an angry frown. What's wrong, Jim? What's happening out there? Lena Daniels asks him. Jim ignores her question and rushes to his clothes closet, pulls a hat box from the shelf, takes out a .38 special, and rushes back through the kitchen, murder obviously on his mind. Jim, what you gonna do with that gun, Jim? Lena Daniels rushes after her husband out onto the porch and jolts his arm enough to prevent the shots fired into the alley from doing more than harmlessly ricochet. Get off of me, Lena. I told you, motherfucker, I'm trying to get some sleep. The drummers and drinkers look up, surprised to see the figure above them firing bullets at them. There's a sharp pause before anyone can get himself together to say anything. Hey, man, you out of your mind or something? The men scramble for cover, pulling their champion drums and wine bottle with them. Man, I told you that nigga was nuts. Y'all better shut up, fool, and haul ass unless you want to get a cap busted in it. Lena pulls Jim, calmed a bit after firing his piece, back into the house. Come on, baby. You know that ain't no way to do. Ain't now one of them fools worth doing no time for. Jim is gently led from the porch, appeased but still scowling, eyes rimmed with dark bags from loss of sleep. Saturday afternoon on the street. Sweet Peter Dieter. Sweet Peter Dieter, notorious body peddler, ghetto entrepreneur, lounges casually against the front fender of his burgundy-colored hog, smoking a cigarette. Adjusting and readjusting his large, white-brimmed burgundy brim, pinky ring catching lights and sparkling like stars as he listens above the noise of rumbling L trains, street noises, and the music coming from Lil Mo's record shop to the brother everyone calls Rapping Rudy, rapping, as usual, on the opposite corner. Rapping Rudy has been called, amongst other things, a spellbinder. His tradition is the Nigerian Muslim village lawyer, Southern jackleg preacher at the Sunday dinner table, Martin Luther King Jr. Malcolm X tradition. With liberal side orders of Old Stokely, Reverend J. Jackson, Cannonball Adderley, Minister Cleaver, A.C. Powell, God rest his soul, and whoever else might be considered charismatic at this day or in any other time, all stroked into the side pocket, straight back. I'm telling y'all, all you brothers and sisters, yeah, even the ones with them television antennas sticking out their eyeballs, even if you don't wake up today, you're going to have to wake up tomorrow, which I guess is sooner than later. And when you really do finally get it righteously together, I mean, after you find out why your neck bones and hamburger meat cost 3 cents more than they should, and why your greens got worms on them, and why is it you could get some credit by marking an X on a dotted line, and why it's so much easier to buy heroin and cocaine than pablum. I mean, after you get hip to all these treacherous games being run on you each and every day, when you really try to bring your head to an understanding of all of that, then you'll really be into a little something. And that ain't even a big piece of it. Can you dig where I'm coming from? I mean, in earnest, can you? Mm-hmm. Several of the young dudes standing around digging Rudy's rap respond positively. Right on, brother. You ain't said shit wrong. Really? Brother Rudy, feeling deeply for the pulse of his audience, slouches down into one of his more hypnotic stances. I mean, like, dig this. Is it really gonna be possible one of these days in this land of the bullshit and home of the pigs? Go ahead. Yeah, that's right. They pigs. They pigs. Do you really think it's gonna be possible for our young sisters and brothers to walk down the street or go to school or wherever one day and not be undereducated, misevaluated, messed up, ripped up, and tripped up? Yeah, just cause they black? I said, yeah. It's going to be possible. It'll come. When black people come to themselves and stop asking whitey to educate and evaluate who we is or who we think we are. When black people come to themselves and be for real about what's important. Am I right about what I'm saying?
Right on.
The young brother standing near Rudy slapped his outstretched palm affirmatively. I don't care what you say, Rudy. I still think we're gonna have to kill up a whole bunch of these honkies in the long run. Yeah, son Lee. I hate to say it, but I think you might be right. A couple of observers checking the scene out from a second floor window made comments on the happenings. Thelma, is them niggas still down there talking all that wild and woolly revolutionary bullshit? Yeah, they down there running their mouths as usual. I'd like to get me a shotgun sometimes and blow them all away. Look at that one there. Hattie, come over. Look at over on the edge of the crowd with his hair full of twisted up into pigtails. Don't you know what that means? Oh, it's supposed to mean something? Other than the fact he ain't combed his damn hair? That's supposed to mean they revolutionary and whatnot. Revolutionary, my ass. All they do is sit out there and talk the minute the weather gets warm. Hey, you got more beer in the box. Rapping Rudy, off on his trip, continues dealing with the shit as he sees it. Hey, look here. Ain't no doubt about it. I mean, what the brother here says may have to happen. I mean, offering somebody might be necessary too, but not dig it. Let's go to some other places. Can you make yourself believe here, deep down in the 21st century, in this this mighty fortress of democracy, where they always running off somewhere to help somebody, some other country? Vietnam ain't been the only place. Can you believe we damn near have to burn half the damn joint down before they'll throw us a few more bones? Can you believe that? Tell it like it is, Rudy. Rudy stares hypnotically at a middle-aged man staring at him from the top of the porch steps. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. Am I right by what I'm saying? The man, content to enjoy the newly arrived sunshine, is forced to make some acknowledgement of Rudy's rap. Yeah, right on, brother. Rudy, smiling maliciously, continued. All right, dig it. Here we are in this fantastic country. Got a button for every reason you could think of. Got a cure for damn near everything but the common cold and heroin addiction. And if it wasn't for the fact that so many niggas was addicted and had cold, then you could bet your bottom dollar that they would have a cure for a drug addiction and a common cold. Maybe they're saving all those goodies so they get all the white folks off the earth, maybe off to the moon somewhere. Rudy, baby, like that. Dig it. I ain't jiving. Do you realize we got so much food here that people can't even eat it all? We got so much food here that people can't eat it all. They have to put in big old warehouses and stuff to let it rot. All of y'all that's working for your daily bread, remember that when you punch that clock on Monday morning, what's he saying now, Thelma? Same old, same old. Daddy, why don't you get a new refrigerator? This beer is warm as piss. All I need is some new refrigerator money, honey. If you go on and drink it instead of listening to some fools, it might still be cold. Meanwhile, Rapping Rudy, an audience in his hip pocket with things to get off his chest, carries on. Yeah! Here we are, damn near starving to death, or beating each other to death, trying to get over. But it ain't just us poor-ass black people. It's them browns and reds and yellows, and a whole lot of them poor-ass crackers, too. Quiet as it's kept. The ones who used to think they was better off than we was because they were white. But now, a hell of a lot of them have finally wake up to the facts. And they realize, like us, after they take their heads out of them funny books and stop listening to all that white council racist bullshit, that the game is being run on all of us by you know who. What's the point, brother? What's the point? What's the point? I tell you what the point is, young brother. The point is this. We got to get our shit together and stop being niggas. Instead of accepting all the surface type jazz we've always gone for, we got to get behind the scene for a change, to really find out what makes things work. We got to stop being niggas for him anyway. If we're gonna be anybody's niggas, let's be our own niggas for a change. Son Lee backs Rudy's last statement up with a quiet, serious, I can dig it. One of the men in the group whispers loudly into Rudy's ear, hey man, I just spotted Lodine down the street. Rudy steps quickly from his place of prominence and starts in the direction pointed out to him. Where you off to, bro? Rudy turns to face the questioner with a mischievous smile. Got to take care of my own business for a change. I'll catch y'all later. The small group reluctantly dissolves, the cohesiveness broken by the loss of its leader. What are they doing now, Thelma? Well, the one that's always running his damn mouth is walking off toward that little old fast gal from up the street. Hattie Mae, when you gonna get yourself a new pair of glasses, honey? Hattie Evans picking up the brew for a short sip. Just as soon I get some new glasses, money. Idella, Sweet Peter Dieter's #2 mud kicker, somebody else might call her a stroller, eased it up to confront the love of her life. Sweet Peter Dieter cocks his lid ace deuce, sticks his face 3 inches from Idella's, and after a quick count of his wages, begins to nibble on her buns fiercely. Bitch, how many times am I gonna have to whip your jive stinking ass before you stop trying to be nickel slick? Idella, eyes downcast, trying somehow to mollify her man. I ain't trying to... Shut up! Don't give me that bullshit. Where's the rest of my money? I got it, Daddy. I got it. All right then, goddamn it, where is it? You keep me waiting here 5 minutes longer than I'm supposed to, knowing motherfucking well I got things to do, and then you come up with some blame. Bitch, stand up straight when I talk to you. Get your ass off my ride. You got a hell of a lot of nerve. Coming up to me money funnier than Chris Rock, and then you ain't got nerve enough to be wanting to lean all over my hog. Idella, I swear to God, I wonder to myself sometimes if I should just go ahead and bust a cap in your ass and be done with it for once and for all. Peter, baby, I got the rest. I got the rest, baby. I was just saving because I wanted to buy you some cufflinks I saw down at Mickham's. Damn all that, get it out now. From another window on the opposite side of the street, above the point where Rudy was rapping, the apartment jointly rented by Slick Rena Dorsey and Taco McNeil, Slick Rena calls to her roommate to come and check out the scene. Taco, come here, dig this. Idella looked like she'd come up short again. The two women lean comfortably over the windowsill. Taco comments between giggles. Sure a shame the way that shut a bitch treat them poor girls, ain't it? Really, I just couldn't see no nigga take all my hard-earned coins. I wouldn't give a damn how pretty he is. Taco and Rena exchange affirmative skin and strain their ears to try to catch the conversation going down between Sweet Peter D and Idella. Peter, can I sit in the car and get the rest out? I got it. I got it down. God damn it, Idella. I'm gonna stick my foot in your ass in the next 5 seconds if you don't pull my money out from wherever you got it. The women staring down on the scene are outraged. Girl, will you look at that? He's got that poach out digging down up under her dress. All these people walking around and stuff. Love and drugs, Miss Lady. Love and drugs. Sweet Peter D disdainfully accepts the tight wad of bills offered to him from Idella's trembling hand. That's all I got, Daddy. That's really all of it. Like I told you, I was just saving to get you something nice. Sweet Peter D stands, gritting his teeth, almost on the verge of tears with the pain, the anger he feels at Idella's betrayal. Idella, I want you to listen to me close, real close, because what I'm about to say to you might mean your life. I want you to get out of my sight and start turning tricks faster than a law lie. And when I see you tonight at 12 p.m. exactly, right in this very same spot, I want my money to be right, or else you're going to have a terrible hurting put on you. Do you understand me, Idella? Yes, Daddy. Get on then. I don't know. I don't know why I fuck with you trifling Scorpio bitches anyway. Sweet Peter D., a member of a rapidly vanishing species, leans gracefully against his hog as he watches Idella slink away, and finally, as she waves back to him from the end of the block, he slides into his hall, fuming. Taco and Rena, fast ladies in their own right, continue analyzing the dripping drama down in the streets. She really is a fool. Ain't no way I'd be peddling my body for nobody. You notice how much I done in the age in the last year? Shit, you be looking old as sin too if you was flopping up and down being plugged by 20, 30 tricks a night. Yeah, I guess you got a point. That fast life will put lines in your face. You damn right it will. As Sweet Peter D. sits in his car, chain smoking and dwelling on life's injustices, especially to members of his own profession, one of the neighborhood junkies, formerly known as George Washington Jefferson, but now simply as Bam, eases up to the car, nodding. Hey, what it is, bruh, Sweets? Sweet Peter D. answers with a curt, "What's happening, Bam?" A car flashes through the street behind Bam, but in his state of awareness, he doesn't notice how close it came to wiping pieces of his ass off on the right fender. Nothing too much. Dig, man. Me and baby June just got hold of some pretty nice suits. Knowing how you like the styling go on. Check with me later after I get to taking care of business. Yeah, right on, bro, Sweet. Where you gonna be later on? Where I am every Saturday night. All right, that's cool. We'll check you. Another car slices through the narrow street behind Bam, ruffling his coattail a bit as he curls down into a fetal nod. You better straighten up, man. One of these fools gonna rip through here and knock you on your ass if you keep nodding in the street like that and shit. Bam scratches casually but intensively on his crack and then his crotch as he junkie shuffles away. Yeah, right on, bro, Sweets. We'll check you out later on. The four gossiping ladies in the windows on both sides of the street maintain a steady, chatter-ridden interest in the whole business, passing out moral judgments as they observe. Hattie, hit that. Lord in heaven, if it ain't one thing, it's another. If it ain't the prostitutes and hustlers, it's the dope fiends. Boy almost just got hit by a car and he didn't even notice it. Full of that dope. You must be talking about Bam and Baby June. Don't see nobody down there but just Bam now. But you know, I thought at one time that they was going to wind up being two of the nicest boys on the block. Hattie Evans shrugs her shoulders, takes another sip of her brew and remarks philosophically, "Well, honey, you know how it is. Can't never tell what that egg will go hatch you into." Taco and Rena, attention, are drawn to more romantic points of view. Each of them trying to conceal it from the other, looks with slightly envious eyes at Sweet Peter Dita's number one lady, Lulu, as she boldly opens the car door and slides inside. Did you see that? You damn skippy, I saw it. I ain't never seen Lulu go through the kind of shit that Idella have to go through. Lulu, in the hall, silently removes a roll of bills from her bra, passes it over to Sweet Peter D behind the wheel. She studies his face closely as he intently counts the bills. After riffling through the small pile twice, he turns to Lulu with a frown on his forehead. "That it, Lulu? That's it, Daddy. 200 even. I got a live one going on an hour down at the Stevens. Might get us $500,000. Sounds good, but be careful downtown. You know how them hunkers can be. I'm always on my toes, you know that. What's the trouble, Daddy? You look disturbed about something. Ain't nothing wrong. What makes you think something's wrong? Nothing, Daddy. I just saw a little frown on your face, that's all. I just thought something was bothering you, that's all. Lulu leans closer to reach for Sweet Peter's cigarette. Let me have a drag. No, ain't nothing bother me, but I can't. Hey, I thought you gave up smoking. Yeah, you right, I did give it up. Here, I wish I could get you to stop smoking. You know it's bad on your lungs. Don't worry about Daddy's sweetness. He can handle it. I know you can handle it, Daddy. I know you can handle it. I know you can handle it. The two of them, Pimp and Ho, sit staring at each other for a long moment with something might be considered in the square world a look of affection. Sweet Peter D runs his manicured fingers from Lulu's knee to her shapely round brown thigh, slowly with feeling. Daddy, you better stop feeling on Mama's kneecaps like that if you want me to make this date. Sweet Peter, with a mischievous smile on his face, asked, "What time is your date?" "About an hour." He withdraws his hands coldly, completely, and his face hardens into the mask most often seen by the general public. You better start stepping, don't make no sense being late. Sweet Peter leans a smooth shapen cheek over to Lulu. She kisses it briefly, passionately. Slides out of the car and closes the door softly behind her. Lulu, he calls her on the sidewalk. "Yeah, Daddy. I'll pick you up here at 12:30. What about your game?" "I think I'm going to cut it loose early tonight." Lulu flexes a hip at a dude passing on the sidewalk, a potential customer, and turns back immediately to the cryptic conversation between her and her man. "I'll be here, Daddy, I'll be here. Did you say something about having the taste?" Yeah, here." Lulu leans quickly back into the car to take a small glycine-wrapped packet of heroin. "What kind of shape you in now, Lulu?" "Everything's cool. I'll save this for later on." Sweet Peter D, his tight, cold, pimp con smile drawing down the corner of his mouth, tells Lulu, "Go ahead with your bad self, Miss Star. Do your thing. Don't forget 12:30 right here. If you need me for anything before then, you know where you can reach me." Lulu lays a brief electric wink on her man and struts up the street, filling in the cadence of her own rhythm, smiling at the warm looks her quivering buttocks attract. Saturday night, any Saturday, the main stem sizzles and crackles with the flicker of neon lights, the popping of stale fish grease, the mad aroma of barbecued ribs, hickory smoked, steaming chitlins, boiled greens, candied yams, bean pies, Louisiana battered fried shrimps, ham hocks and things, and the horny sounds of people in love with the night. It carriages Sweet Peters swirling off onto fast tracks where they spend their lives twisting, turning, and dancing on pinheads larger than their lives will ever be. The stem swirls in a straight line down 47th Street, heading for Buttermilk Bottom, the Fillmore District, Crenshaw, or the dusty, crusty surface of Gwinnett Street in deepest Georgia, or to any other place in the New World where the brothers had to take his chances, no matter whether the chance has been for a Fulani queen and glorious red, or for a change in fortune that may rest on the pair of loaded dice. And that's where I'm going to stop for the first reading from Ghetto Sketches, published in 1972.
Wow.
If you happen to find it, well,
Hold on to it.
for a book that costs $1.50, it's up to 75, I believe, or 85.
You're talking about maybe reissuing it next year?
That's a strong possibility.
Okay.
That is a strong possibility. I'm thinking of doing it as an audio book, and this is, you might say, my practice run. So, having said that,
Well, thank you. I'd read it so
it's
many
always a
years
pleasure
ago.
to be at Cafe Zola,
Why, thank you. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
and it's always a pleasure to be here.
All right, Mr. Hawkins.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Did I say something seductive?
With that reading, you certainly did.
Well, I'm trying my best. I'm trying to get you into it. Or am I trying to get myself into it? The book.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you got that right.
Why,
Yes.
until next time.
The next time, you got that right.
All
Same
right.
time
Same
tomorrow
time.
evening.
Same time tomorrow evening. Looking
Bon
forward to
appetit.
Ghetto Sketches by Odie Hawkins. Can possibly be purchased on Amazon. Tonight was $75.
Oh.
Okay? Or, you can check.
What about abebooks.com?
abebooks.com. People can check and see what it is.
abe.com?
Yeah, like abelincoln.com. But it is definitely out of print right now. And hopefully will be republished in 2019 as an ebook.
I'm beginning to
and
think more and
paperback.
more yes rather than hopefully.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Ciao.
Yes.